Last year, homeowners spent billions on raised beds, bagged soil, fertilizers, irrigation kits, and replacement lumber. The average gardener now spends between $300 and $650 just to build and fill a single 4x8 raised bed. Within 5 years, the boards begin to rot. Within one season, the soil begins to decline. And every spring, the cycle starts again. More compost, more fertilizer, more amendments. The mistake isn't raised beds themselves. The mistake is building gardens that can't improve on their own. If you want woodworking projects, you can build yourself practical raised bed strategies that actually work, and gardening systems that make life easier, especially for seniors who don't want to haul soil every year. Subscribe to my email list. That's where I share the deeper systems behind what works long term. Now let me show you the method that costs zero, waters itself, fertilizes itself, and honestly gets more productive every year for the next 2 decades. It's not new, it's ancient, and, well, there's a reason garden stores don't promote it. To understand what we lost, we need to look at how forests actually grow. Walk into any mature forest and look at the ground. You won't see fertilizer bags, you won't see irrigation lines, you won't see raised cedar boxes. You will see fallen trees, rotting logs, branches collapsing into soil, layers of decomposing organic matter building up year after year. And growing directly out of those rotting logs, you'll see ferns, shrubs, and even full-sized trees. Foresters call them nurse logs. When wood begins to decompose, fungi break down lignin and cellulose. As that structure breaks down, the wood becomes porous. Extremely porous, actually. Laboratory measurements show that heavily decomposed logs can absorb up to 400 to 500% of their dry weight in water. A 20-pound log can hold 80 to 100 pounds of water inside its structure. Now just imagine burying that underground. What you've created is, well, a reservoir. Medieval farmers copied the forest because, honestly, they had no choice. Across Germany, Eastern Europe, and parts of Scandinavia, farmers historically piled fallen trees and woody debris into long mounds, covered them with soil, and planted directly into them. They didn't call it branding, they called it survival. These mounds produced higher yields on poor land. They retained moisture during dry spells. They required fewer inputs year after year. And most importantly, they improved over time instead of declining. In 1962, German botanist Hermann André documented this system under the name Hügelkultur, mound culture, but it had existed for centuries before he wrote about it. The principle was simple. Copy the forest floor. Raised beds begin declining the day you build them. A raised bed is at peak performance the day you fill it. After that, every harvest removes nutrients. Every rainstorm leaches minerals. Every season requires reapplication of compost, fertilizer, or amendments just to maintain baseline fertility. And raised beds dry out faster than ground soil. In summer testing, 12-inch raised beds can lose moisture 30 to 50% faster than ground-connected soil because they drain from the bottom and evaporate from the sides. That means more watering, more dependency, more inputs. A buried wood mound does the opposite. It improves. Here is what actually happens inside a buried wood garden. In year 1, the wood begins decomposing. Fungi start to colonize the logs. Decomposition generates a bit of mild heat. Soil temperatures inside the mound run several degrees warmer than the surrounding ground, which is pretty interesting. Seeds tend to germinate earlier, and transplants establish themselves faster. You'll still water during the first year, but, less often. Heavy feeders like squash, tomatoes, cucumbers, and pumpkins really thrive in this startup phase. In year 2, the wood core becomes a functioning sponge. It absorbs rainfall and stores it deep underground. During dry spells, moisture moves upward through capillary action into the root zone. Many gardeners actually cut irrigation in half by this stage. Year 3 and beyond, the fungal network just keeps expanding. Soil carbon increases. Earthworm populations really explode. The soil darkens, loosens, and becomes much more biologically active. Instead of depleting, the system compounds. By year 5, the mound requires minimal external input. By year 10, the soil quality is nearly impossible to replicate with purchased products. The nitrogen myth is honestly pretty misunderstood. You've probably heard that burying wood steals nitrogen from plants, right? Well, that warning applies mainly to fine sawdust and those small wood chips that bacteria break down. But when it comes to large logs, they actually break down mostly through fungal pathways. Fungi are, really nitrogen efficient. They tend to redistribute nutrients rather than permanently tying them up. There is a short startup phase where, adding nitrogen-rich material really helps. Things like grass clippings, manure, compost, or even diluted urine can all jumpstart the system. After that initial boost, the mound actually becomes a net nutrient generator rather than a consumer. Long-term studies on permaculture sites using buried wood have shown higher soil carbon, lower bulk density, and significantly higher earthworm populations compared to control plots. Over time, the system matures into what you could call a biological engine. Let me walk you through exactly how to build one of these. First, choose a sunny location. You can dig down 8 to 12 inches if you want a bit of extra depth, but honestly, it's not required. Lay cardboard over the grass to suppress weeds. Then, stack the largest logs you can find tightly together. Hardwoods like oak, maple, birch, apple, and poplar are ideal choices. Be sure to avoid cedar, black walnut, or any treated lumber. Fill in the gaps with smaller branches and twigs. Pack it all in dents to prevent settling voids. Add a nitrogen layer, like fresh grass clippings, manure, or kitchen scraps. This step is honestly critical for startup. Next, layer on some leaves or straw. Then cover everything with about 6 to 10 inches of soil or compost and, water thoroughly during the first season. That's it. The total cost, if you source wood locally, is anywhere from $0 to maybe $50 for a soil cap. Compare that to $500 to $800 over 5 years for raised beds and all those inputs. Geometry actually gives you microclimates for free. A mound isn't flat, and believe it or not, that really matters. The south-facing slope warms up faster and is great for heat-loving crops. Meanwhile, the north-facing slope stays cooler and holds on to moisture longer, perfect for lettuce and greens. So, one mound actually creates multiple growing zones without any extra infrastructure. You're not just building a bed here, you're engineering terrain. The economic reality explains the silence. A raised bed kit sells for $150 to $300. Soil to fill it, another $150 to $250. Annual fertilizer, $50 to $100. Irrigation kit, $60 to $120. And, you'll need to replace the lumber every 5 to 7 years. Each component, requires repurchasing. Buried wood, on the other hand, uses fallen branches, storm debris, municipal wood waste, leaves, yard trimmings, all materials that most homeowners actually pay to have removed. There's just no recurring revenue in teaching people to bury logs. That doesn't make raised beds useless. In contaminated urban soils or areas with poor drainage, they definitely serve a purpose. But for most backyards, ground-connected systems really outperform them over time. If you're already growing food, this isn't about trends. It's about trajectory. Raised beds decline and require maintenance inputs. Buried wood systems, on the other hand, improve and reduce dependency. If you already have raised beds, just remove the landscape fabric underneath and reconnect them to the soil. If you're building new, consider whether lumber is actually necessary. Try testing one mound. Compare it over 3 seasons. Serious gardeners measure results, not marketing. The choice is simple. You can build something that demands new inputs every year, or you can build something that gets better every year. The forest solved this 300 million years ago. Medieval farmers copied it out of necessity. Modern gardeners can copy it out of intelligence. If this shifted how you think about soil, share this with someone about to spend $600 on lumber and bagged soil. Subscribe to In the Beginning channel for practical tested systems that grow better food with fewer inputs. Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't buying better products. The goal is building better soil.